We've been talking for like 20 minutes anyway. We did like 2 segments of the episode already. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to big episode 190 of NerdPod Generations. As always, I am one of your illustrious hosts, Steve Taylor, along with the always lovely Al Judson. Hello, sir.
Hello, friends and enemies.
You know, I mentioned this to you. I was looking forward to this episode because we got a lot to talk about with Daredevil, but then I was sparked with a muse of...
Yes, something came along and bit you, apparently.
Well, it was... I was at my dad and stepmom this year turned 80 and 70.
Okay.
So yesterday, my brothers and I and my sisters threw a 150 party for them.
Okay.
And it was at Lovin' Cup, which is great. Yeah. Lovin' Cup's awesome. And I never really had food there. They did a great job. Their food was amazing. They had a flank steak with, we got it buffet style. So they had a big pan of flank steak covered with blue cheese and bacon. I ate so much of that shit.
Yeah, I bet.
And then they had a chicken cordon bleu fried little balls. Mm-hmm. I ate too much, and I could not fucking sleep. So my insomnia sparked this glorious thing that I cannot wait to talk about. But we are going to get into that, folks. We have a big show today. We have some Daredevil. We have some Zootopia. We have some Watch, Play, Read to talk about. We're going to be talking about some trailer stuff. Make sure, go to nerdpodgen.com. There is, it is our website. You will see lovely photos of both of us, which, I mean, don't eat lunch before you go to our website, but you will see our pictures. There are links on there to, right on the main page, there's a link to the most recent episode on Spotify. There's also links to Spotify and Apple Podcasts. There's also links to YouTube.com, where Al has been graciously uploading full and partial episodes of our show. So please, 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 if you go to any of those sites, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so that whenever we put up a new episode, like I see on my phone every time I upload it, bing, there it is. NerdPod Gen has a new show.
I will say, while you were having a great time out in Lovin' Cup, I was experiencing the joys of being over 35 years old, which is to say that I'll get into this later. I was messing around with some magic cards, and I had been looking through stuff for 20 minutes while kneeling on the floor, like you do. And then I stood up, and my body was like, we're 38 years old. You can't do that anymore. And so I passed out.
Oh, Jesus.
I didn't even make it all the way up. I got up on, from a kneeling position, up all the way, like a good Catholic kneeling position.
Yeah.
And the blood rush was such that I almost passed out 3 times and ended up falling over. And so...
Oh, my God.
I have a nice big bruise across my chest. And it's just this is what they always say. You get to a certain point and your body's just like, yeah, we don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
That's just not a thing we do anymore now. So I'm okay. I didn't hurt anything.
I'll walk by fences and be like, man, I could leap that. And then I'm like, wait a second. No,
yeah,
I can't.
No,
I could 30 years ago, but I can't do it now.
Yeah, you do the math. You divide your age by the overall difficulty of the task you're doing. And that's going to come out with your quotient as to whether you're going to be capable of doing this thing.
And now that I am dealing directly with the healthcare industry, I totally understand that I'm not going to put my life in their hands.
Exactly.
In any way, shape, or form.
No.
All right, friends. I'm very excited about this. We are going to begin our episode like we do all episodes with what you've been watching, playing, reading. So I have a super quick shout out. I mentioned this to you already. My family and I, we were on the kick of watching the Rise of the Planet of the Apes movies. We watched the OG 3, and then the other day we watched Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I think it missed that character. Caesar. Not just Caesar. I like the characters. Noah and all. I like the characters. But there wasn't that one character that I was truly invested in.
Yeah.
As far as the apes go.
Caesar comes with baggage, and we're we know Caesar. We like Caesar. We've seen Caesar through his entire journey. So I agree. When we meet, it is Noah, right? Noah, the young monkey.
Is the young,
I like Noah.
He's good.
But
fine.
he feels like a Xerox 3 generations of Xerox copies of Caesar, where it's he is Caesar in a large way, and he has a bird, and I love the bird. The bird's great. But is he a dynamic, interesting character? Kind kinda, a little, not like Caesar was, but kinda. But then you meet like the orangutan, who I really like. You meet Nova, who I really like. And you just kind of get the sense of like, some of these other characters are more interesting. And you realize that Noah is more of a, what was Mr. Anderson? Neo.
Yeah.
And Harry Potter and Luke Skywalker. And these kind of like blank-faced protagonists where it's like there's no character there. So you can put your own self in their shoes. And it's like, okay, he can be everybody because he's so boring that he has no interesting characteristics. That comes down so hard. I like this movie.
No, I like it a lot.
I really like this movie.
And I think my only like real issues with it was, once again, I didn't have that like character I really connected with. I thought Proximus was okay as a villain.
Yeah.
I thought, the problem is you came from such good villains in the first three. That Proximus is fine.
Yeah.
But he's not on the Woody Harrelson level. He's not on Kubo.
I was about to say, like, he tries to be Kubo.
But he's not
Kubo.
No. And it's, I appreciate how he's like Kubo, but intellectual because he's been taught history of humanity.
He has that extra 30 years of evolution that now that's why all the apes can talk and not just some of the apes.
That's the other thing, is they said multiple generations, so I'm wondering how long. Because the fact that these apes really have no idea who Caesar was makes me think, has this been like 100 years?
It could be even longer,
years? Like, I'm not exactly sure how long it's been.
That is one of the things that I did like about this movie, was that it did finally get to the promised land of, hey, you remember the original Heston Planet of the Apes?
Yes.
This is a very close facsimile of the original Heston Planet of the Apes. We aren't at apes wearing clothes yet.
Yes.
But, like, we're getting there.
And that's why I'm hoping, I know this was successful.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping they're doing another one.
I think
because they left it open.
I think at this point the astronaut needs to land, right? By 5?
By
5, the astronaut needs to land.
I don't know quite yet, because they have to get the apes in close. And it looks like they're at least a couple generations from that happening.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe...
Do you think that Nova, i.e. Freya Allen, i.e. Siri, is actually going to stick around, or is that just a one-off kind of character?
I'm thinking she's a one-off bridge.
I think
because
so too.
I think for this to be successful, unlike the Caesar ones, they have to do time jumps.
Yeah.
They have to make a couple jumps to get to... Like, once they get to the apes wearing clothes, like the Planet of the Apes we know from the 60s, then they can do...
I think that we can make that jump from here. I think we've positioned ourselves on the checkerboard enough that we can make that jump from where we end in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes to the beginning of, what would it be... Dawn of the War of the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, or whatever it would be.
I don't know if there's enough adjectives.
I think that movie can start with the astronaut in space and landing on the planet, and us as an audience after this time jump, because I fully agree with you. I think the way that this moves from now on is through time jumps. And I don't know that we'll ever get to the end of the Burton movie. That would be crazy.
Oh, God.
If that was how the 6th one goes.
Wait, did you ever hear the Kevin Smith thing about that?
No.
He did a comic book series about Jay and Silent Bob, and this was before the Planet of the Apes came out, and he kind of had beef with Burton because of the Superman Lives thing.
Yeah, the giant spider.
He wrote one of his books. At the end, it was like in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, they have that scene where they're running from like Planet of the Apes, and the apes are chasing. Why can't I think of the clerks' names?
Dante and Randall.
Randall, and in the comic, they had that scene, and it ended with them at the Lincoln Memorial, and they had replaced Lincoln's head with a ape's head.
Yeah.
And then when the movie came out,
that was what they
Kevin
did.
Smith was like, holy fuck, he stole that from my comic book. And he had a friend who worked for media that put that in a newspaper article, and Burton was pissed. He goes, I would never read his fucking shit. And he's like, well, how do you have the same fucking ending that I have in my comic book?
A little suspect.
A little sus right there, yeah. So I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, no, that's one of those things in Hollywood they hear about all the time.
Yeah.
I used to be paranoid about that when I was like young and apple-eyed and thinking like, I can send a script through the mail. Oh my God, what if my ideas are stolen and I never see any money for this?
Yeah.
And it's like, these were the concerns I had. And it's like, it's never going to happen.
No,
Don't even worry about it.
But my only other problem is they overly prophesized the birds attacking Proxima.
Yeah.
Like, the whole movie's the birds. And it's like, okay.
When is this going to come
They're going to
up?
fucking... they're going to kill... And sure as shit,
Yeah.
spoilers, friends, they killed Proxima. And you're like, oh, I fucking knew that.
They keep walking past Chekhov's gun and stopping and being like, and here is Chekhov's gun. And then they walk on.
Yeah.
And then 20 minutes later, they come back and they're like, oh, and here is Chekhov's gun. And then they walk on. You're like, yeah, this is definitely coming up.
And as much as I don't think people are intentionally stealing story beats from Avatar because the story sucks so bad, them hunting for the eggs was very similar to the... I
barely
Na'vi.
Remember this, yeah.
Yeah, the Na'vi climbing and trying to get their and it's like, okay. But overall, still very good.
I still like it. I still like that there's no humans involved in that part of it. It's just apes. You know, it's not one of those stories where... Like Avatar, there's a human facsimile involved in learning and blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, no, it's like this is a rite of passage for apes of this age to do this thing, and then they have to accomplish it in order to do this other thing, in order to move up the ranks in the clan, and if you can't, then you have to wait a year. I found all that really interesting. Like, all of the building of the cultures, even when they reveal that the humans are worshipping a nuclear bomb, like, even that doesn't come off as cheesy as it did in the original, where you're like, yeah, okay. Here, I'll buy it.
See, I just wish, though, they would have explained more, because you have some humans that are like Neanderthals. Like, they don't speak, they're like cavemen, and then you have some that are just normal.
Yeah.
And it's like, they
have like a throwaway line
a
about
little
it.
bit, yeah, but it's like, I don't understand how you have that broad a dynamic between humans.
There's a genetic mutation, and so the virus affects some humans differently than it does others.
I think that was shitty writing to get Frey Allen to be able to speak.
I think that's exactly what it was that we wanted Nova to talk in this movie, even though that's the opposite of the point of Nova. Like, it's especially funny. I love one moment in this movie that works well based off of the other movies, but at the same time it does show the distance from the other movies, which is, I love when... I can't remember what the orangutan teacher's name is. Yeah, but he calls her Nova. And he's like, we call them all Nova. And it's like, oh, okay, that's great. And then she starts talking. You're like, God damn it.
Yep.
God damn it. We had it right last time where you had the little girl and she's meeting Maurice and he is teaching her. And he calls her Nova because he found her in the trunk of a Chevy Nova. And you're like, this works. And then the guy here says we called them all Nova. And you're like, that's great. And then she starts talking. You're like, we were so close. Mm-hmm. You were so close. And then you had to talk.
Yeah.
You just, like a superhero who has to take their mask off. And you're just like, why did you take this gig? You knew your face was going to be covered. You knew your voice was going to be covered. You knew you weren't going to talk. If you didn't feel comfortable with that, then don't take the job.
Yeah. No,
I blame it on Frey Allen. It's probably not her fault. It's probably the studios, but still.
I gotta say, I am happy. One of the main reasons I was happy I watched this movie was I love the Corridor Crew.
Yeah.
And they talked about... So, folks, those of you who don't know, the Corridor Crew are these VFX guys in Hollywood, and they do a YouTube show where they go over movies and explain how things are done and criticize and critique. When they talked about this movie and that scene where the orangutan falls in the water and the fur... and they're like, that is the most difficult thing I've ever... And that really was incredible.
They're, like, on the floor.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Crawling up to the TV, like, how did they do it?
I don't... Because there were some scenes of the CGI in this that I thought weren't great.
Yeah.
But that scene was fucking mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Like, watching him in the water with the... I was just blown away.
Yeah, so good.
Okay.
So, what's the thing?
So, there is a director who has had a very hit-or-miss career. I would say his early career was the hit, and that is Luc Besson.
Okay.
He had Leon the Professional, La Femme Nikita, The Fifth Element.
Can I guess what you watched?
No. I want to do the unveiling.
Okay.
So, these were all great movies. He hasn't really done anything since. Mm-hmm. He made a movie last year.
Oh.
That I was curious about.
See, I thought you were going to talk about Lucy.
No.
I thought you'd watch Lucy.
No, Lucy was terrible.
I thought you'd watch Lucy in the middle of the night, and you were like, wow, this changes my perspective of it.
No, I already watched Lucy, and fucking... I like Scarlett Johansson. She was terrible in that fucking movie.
I will say, really quick, Valerian in the City of a Thousand Planets.
It's okay.
I like that movie a lot.
I thought it was okay.
I thought that movie was really, really good.
I think it was... I think it got shit on more than it should have.
Yeah.
Yeah. He made a movie last year called Dracula.
Oh, this Dracula.
And I was curious. I have been curious because it has Christoph Waltz, who I love.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Luc Besson, he's a solid director. Score by Danny Elfman. It's the worst fucking movie I've ever seen in my fucking life. It is so bad! Okay, so Caleb Landry Jones, a.k.a. Banshee, from the X-Men
A.k.a.
First
Clayface.
Class. Clayface. He plays Dracula.
Yeah.
So they took Bram Stoker's Dracula and they're like, how much can we steal from this? But then change things. Holy fuck, Al. This movie was so bad. So it starts with Vlad and his wife, and they're just fucking away. You don't see any nudity or anything like that. You know, it's just them in their big baggy, like, dressing gowns, and they're all fucking around, fucking. And his generals, like, come in the room, like, time to go, my liege! And they're, like, putting him in his armor. And they would put on, like, one piece of his armor. And now, mind you, he just had his wife against the wall plowing her. Mm-hmm. And they barge in. And they're like, come on. And they put a piece of his armor on. He goes over and starts making out with his wife. And they pull him back. Put a piece of his armor on. Goes over and makes out with his wife. And, like, I'm watching this, like, what the fuck am I watching? And it was fucking insane.
But they're so in love, Steven.
The writing was horrific. The directing was horrible. I looked at Christoph Waltz and I'm like, oh, this is your Ben Kingsley Blood Rain movie. I don't know if you remember him in that awful fucking... This was his, Christoph Waltz's.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it going, okay, they absolutely stole the Gary Oldman look as the old Dracula. They just tweaked it. But they absolutely fucking stole the look. There was even a Danny Elfman, one of the scores was very, like, you could tell it was the Bram Stoker, like the ominous song from Bram Stoker. I don't know if you could picture it.
Yeah.
It had hints of that, and then it went to something else.
Well, I mean, the costuming alone. Like, if you look at any scene of this, it looks like Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Dude.
Like the big top hat, the big glasses, the velvet gloves.
As I'm watching this, all I could think about was your critique on What's-His-Nuts playing Adam Warlock.
Oh, yeah. Will, the guy with the stupid face that people say is attractive. And I'm like, if you say so.
Yes. Caleb Landry Jones.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, does not pull off Dracula. Does not pull off this suave Moldavian prince who's like... Every woman fawns over, and I'm like, no fucking way. I am sorry. His acting sucked. He's fucking ugly as shit, and I'm not attractive, so I can say it. Fucking ugly as shit to play this suave character. And I'm watching this. Al, I can't even stress to you the way he controls people.
The thrall.
Is he creates a perfume.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That when he puts the perfume on, it drives people insane and they like are attracted, like they come running to him. So the Jonathan Harker character is fucking terrible. I don't know who who hired this guy first off, which I'm going to have to look up this guy's name.
Let me grab it for
you. Ewans Abid, I think his name is. Yeah, Ewans Abid. He's fucking terrible.
Uh-huh.
And he has no charisma. He has no, he doesn't play fear at all. Instead of brides in the castle, Dracula has tiny gargoyles that are in charge of running the castle and, making sure Jonathan doesn't escape. And you find out at the end, and I'm going to spoil the shit out of this because no one should watch this fucking movie.
Yeah.
After Dracula dies at the end, the tiny gargoyles... They turn into these small children who are pale and bald, and they come walking out of the castle looking around. I'm like, what the fuck am I I was so blown away by this. But the perfume thing, when they're following along with everything. Mm-hmm. So when Dracula's like, all right, I need to go to London. I think they changed it actually to Paris. I don't think it's London. I think it's Paris. He's like, oh, I need blood. So he goes to a nunnery.
Okay.
And he gets invited in because he pretends to be an old man. He puts the perfume on, and all these nuns are like, they're rushing towards him, but then they're pulling back because they know he's evil.
God,
but then they're rushing towards him,
of Jesus.
and then he's like, and they're all around him, and he's like,
I'm just looking at photos of this movie. It looks so bad.
Holy fuck. And then it goes right from him in the nunnery to being in Paris. Like, it's almost like that was just the next scene. They're like, oh, he's in Paris now.
And now he got his thing at the nunnery and he's moved on. Yeah, the writers for this are listed as Luc Besson and Bram Stoker.
Yeah.
So I think that tells you exactly what kind of movie this is. This is a bad remake of a bad Francis Ford Coppola movie.
Mina, the Zoe Blow, or how do you say her name? She's awful.
Yeah.
I've not seen her in anything else. She's not fucking good. When you would say I would rather have Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder, you know how bad this fucking was.
That was going to be my next question, was on a scale of Winona Ryder to Keanu Reeves, how were the English accents?
I mean, they didn't have English accents.
Yeah.
They were just fucking bad.
Yeah.
But, like, I would rather look at Keanu Reeves giving a bad accent than look at these fucks trying to do this thing.
God, early 90s Keanu Reeves, when he was still trying to be a classic actor before he found his footing of, I'm who I am, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
It's hilarious watching him try really, really hard to leave Ted Theodore Logan in the rear view and try and be the guy from My Own Private Idaho all the time. And it's just like, he can do it. This is not me criticizing Keanu Reeves, but like this, Dracula, I love his Much Ado About Nothing, but him in Much Ado About Nothing. Like, there are some roles
very
that it's just
great,
like,
underrated movie, by the way, Much Ado About Nothing.
Amazing movie.
And the cast is insanity.
But that just makes his performance stand out all the more because he is so clearly outcast by people like Robert Sean Leonard. And you're like, you're getting acted by by fucking House's assistant on House.
Yeah.
Like, you've fallen so far behind in this cast.
Way far behind.
Like, even Michael Keaton, despite having an entirely different role, way outpasses Keanu Reeves in that movie.
Oh, by far. The only person I will give the slightest credit to in this is Matilda De Angelis, who plays Maria, which is their version of Lucy.
Okay.
In this.
Oh, I know this woman.
She does... Now, once again, she has horrible dialogue, horrible directing.
Yeah.
She does a good job. She plays a very fun, charismatic... She plays the ominous part well as the, when she's been turned type of thing.
Yeah.
See, and here's the other thing. Instead of him having a Renfield... Dracula decided throughout all of his years trying to find his Mina, Elisabetta, they show him in this montage going to like different countries and different events and different, aristocrats, and he ends up going to this party in France, and they're just the worst people, and they kind of are making fun of him. So he puts on his shit and just bites them all. Because he decides he wants to create an army to try to help him find her.
And now we have moved away from Bram Stoker's
and
Dracula.
That's what this Maria is. She was at that party. And so now she's an undead. Instead of being, no, he's in London now and he's going to feed on her to try to get her. No, she's been a vampire for centuries. I think they say at one point she's 100 and some odd, 135 years old or something like that. So she's been a vampire forever. And she's just been searching for fucking Elisabetta. And I'm like, dude, this is fucking...
This is the worst version of Castlevania I've ever heard.
This is the worst version of... I have seen some really bad Dracula movies. This might be the worst one.
Like, can you imagine if in Castlevania, instead of mowing the entirety of Wallachia to the ground, he sent out all of these creatures to go and find Lisa? And it's like, I just need to find her. And it's like, well, I can almost guarantee you she's dead. Like, there's no way she's not dead.
But then, like, unlike Bram Stoker's, they played it too well that before he bit Mina, she was having these solid memories of being Elisabetta. And so she was... she even said at one point to Maria, I don't really love I love Jonathan, but I just don't feel right with him.
Like some kind of reincarnation bullshit.
Exactly. And then he bites her, and she's 1,000% on board.
Yeah.
And she's like, yep, let's live eternity together. you and me, you've been looking for me for 400 fucking years. And then Christoph Waltz, who's not Van Helsing, he is the priest. That's his fucking name in this movie. And they took Hugh Jackman's Van Helsing character.
Oh, no.
And they made him pretty much.
No.
Because all he does is he carries around this kit of vampire killing kit. And he gets called to these sightings of vampires. And he decides, all right, this is what we gotta do. Blah, blah, blah. And then when it's done, he just fucking leaves. Oh my god, my brain is hurting from fucking remembering this movie. He is fucking terrible.
Yeah. No, I look at this cast, I look at all the images, I listen to everything you say, and I'm just like, I see the pacing and plotting of this movie in front of me. And the problems of it all seem to be arranged around this idea of like, this is Bram Stoker's Dracula, but we're not going to make it interesting. But we are going to update it, but the updates aren't going to make sense. But the third act is going to be completely different, but the new third act doesn't work within the arrangement of the story.
And this is, to finish that story beat I was going on, so it gets to the point where Van Helsing and the fucking Foreign Legion or something show up to Dracula's castle, and Dracula kills all of them, and he's going to save Elizabeth. I'm just going to call her Mina. The priest, all he does is say, you're damning her for life. And he's like, you're right.
What?
You're right. Just stab me.
I didn't know that.
And it's like, at least Bram Stoker's Dracula, for Francis Ford Coppola one, after Dracula dies, she's sad but kind of goes back to Jonathan. It's like, oh my god, I'm so happy. Mm-hmm. This ends with her cradling the dust and bones of what was Dracula and fucking not even giving a shit about Jonathan. And it's like, she's probably going to kill herself.
Well, she had already been turned too, right?
But because he was killed, she went back to being human.
It doesn't matter.
That's the trope they did, is, if you kill the lead vampire, all the other vampires go back to human.
But in the eyes of the church, once a vampire, always a vampire. It doesn't matter if you got magically saved.
Dude.
You are still responsible for the sins taken upon you and by your creator.
Yeah.
So her soul's already damned to hell.
Well, that's the thing. Her and Jonathan really don't believe in God.
Oh, there you go. That'll help.
So they made him like, the thing you see all the time, 15th century atheists.
Yeah.
That fucking never fucking happened.
They definitely didn't have any fear of God in them. No.
Dude. This, I have to put this, because of how serious they took this movie.
Yeah.
And you could tell that they were not tongue-in-cheek at all. This might be in my top 10 of worst movies I've ever seen in my life. Mm-hmm. That's how fucking bad this is. Mm-hmm. It has no redeeming qualities. The set design is awful. Costuming is awful. Danny Elfman, I love you. The music sucked.
He's past his prime. I'm looking at pictures of him. He doesn't look good.
No, he kind of looks like Carrot Top.
And
after the steroids.
Some of the things I've heard, not great.
Yeah.
The reviews on Danny Elfman as a human, not stellar.
Yeah.
Not great.
It's like, dude, you made your money. Just fucking go
I think
off.
it's time to just fade into the background.
Yeah, you're not John Williams. You can't be making.
You don't need to keep on
90s.
making stuff. You're good. You're good. Also, we've all heard every Danny Elfman song there will ever be because they all are one variation of something.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, okay, I'm good. I'm not trying to badmouth Danny Elfman. I love Danny Elfman. But like, when your time's done, and it's time to walk to the back of the room and just, have a quiet life alone in the Hollywood Hills. You probably have horses. Raise your horses. I don't fucking know. Raise your fucking keyboards that you build. I don't fucking know. Whatever you do in your spare time.
I've been waiting to talk about this movie since last.
It's not good.
I can't stress enough. And what I would say is, if this is ever streaming and you don't have to pay for it, like, I rented it.
Yeah.
Just because I'm like, I'm so fucking tired. I can't sleep. I have to watch something. And forever, this has been like a $30 rental. Finally went down. I did rent it for $10. But listen, though. There are times, even a bad movie, I'm happy I spent $10 on
I'll take your word for it.
Because I will tell this tale for years.
Yeah.
There are movies I spent far more on to see in a theater that are not bad, but I just forget the next day. Yeah. I will never forget this movie.
Oh, yeah.
There's something, if anyone does end up watching this abomination, please pay attention to this. Anytime Dracula has a wine glass, before he doesn't even really drink. I don't think he ever drinks out of a glass. He dips a finger in it and licks his finger. Every fucking time.
Again,
every time, Al!
You can always tell a bad script by the amount of affectations that actors include because there's nothing for them to do. The writing is bad, and the direction is bad, and there's nothing for them to do, and so you come up with these weird, wacky affectations.
And I almost forgot the Elizabetha death scene. Isn't, the romantic one from Bram Stoker's where she leaps to her death because she finds out he's died? No. For some reason, he tells her when he's going off to fight the Turks, you need to go to my other castle. Some of my troops will take you just so you're extra safe. So they're all riding, and of course, the Turks ambush them. So they're far away. Dracula's in a battle. The battle ends, and he's like, something's not right.
My blood magic tells me.
So he gets on his horse, and reminiscent to, if you think about the scene in the Chronicles of Narnia when they're running away from Santa Claus, not knowing it's Santa Claus, and it's in that big open, she's riding away from the Turks in this big open snowy area, and there's, for some reason, there are bear traps everywhere under the snow.
Okay.
And so, like, her horse just missed one. Oh my god, is her horse gonna hit one? He just went. Oh, her horse hit a bear trap. Oh my god. So she falls up. The Turks all get off their horses. They start walking towards her. And sure as shit, Dracula catches up.
Yeah.
And is able to kill 3 of them. And one of them is standing in front of Mina with his back to Dracula.
And he's already killed her.
And Dracula throws a sword to kill him. And of course, the sword goes through him
and hits Mina.
And I'm like, what the fuck is that? So Dracula's actually the one that killed her. So it's not really that he can blame God, because of course he says, God protect my wife. You're the one that fucking killed her. It's not like in the other one where she actually kills herself because she hears you've died.
Also, what is this bullshit of Dracula being a papist? Like, what are we talking about? Why would Dracula have any fear of God? The entire story of Dracula is literally that he pals with the devil.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, I like this guy more than God. That's what I love about Castlevania, is as a person who watched the horrors of the Roman Catholic Church, watching just priests get comeuppance in Castlevania is one of the most...
That's still the best character.
Oh, God. And so, like, the idea of Dracula being worried about his standing in the eyes of God, or praying to God for safety for others, that's crazy.
Dude,
that's bonkers. What is
insane.
That?
And the way they showed, he calls himself Prince Vlad, but right away he refers to himself as Count Dracula.
Yeah.
Right away.
Prince outranks Count though, right?
Yeah. And when the way they showed that he's an impaler is after they kill the Turk army, there's this dramatic scene where there's like the Turk base camp where the Sultan is. And for some reason it's daylight there. But at the top of the mountain that the Turks are looking at, it's like dark with this orange glow behind it. And Dracula and his soldiers come up to the top of the hill, and they have spears with the heads on them. And that shows the impaling.
I'm just saying, again, if you go to Season 3 of Castlevania, the moment when Alucard has taken his 2 lovers who tried to kill him, spoiler warning, and mounted them in the style of his father.
Yep.
And then you come back at the beginning of Season 4 and there are just more bodies, and you're just like, this tells a huge story.
Yep.
But we're not going to do that. We're going to do the French version of a Hollywood version of a bad Dracula story.
So I could talk about this movie forever. I don't want to. I want to move on.
You want to wash.
I am so glad I got this off my chest, though.
Yeah.
Because I have no one to talk to about this, really. And it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
When I finished it last night, I really wish that I could have slept.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this is so fucking bad.
That's the worst, is when you put something on and you're like, this will help, and then you end up with more energy than when you put it on. And you're like, well, I was going to go to sleep, but I guess not anymore.
But once again, I'll never forget this movie.
No. I mean, how could you? It's been seared into your brain.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Spectacularness.
So, moving from some spectacularness onto other spectacularness, my watch, play, read comes in the form of 3 items, largely. I was going to talk... I've been playing... I'll just hit on this really quick. I've been playing a lot of Magic the Gathering, which has been fun.
Nice.
So anybody out there who knows it, shout out. I'm enjoying getting into Magic the Gathering after years and years and years. I've had to be taught 5 or 6 times. And even now, when I play, Steve, who lives with us, he likes to go down to Millennium to play. And he's like, you should come with. And I'm like, well, so here's the thing. I still don't know all the rules.
Yeah. And
I don't want to have someone sitting there coaching me through playing this game.
I'll be honest, I've wanted to do this just because I love Millennium Games, and just to go in there and sit and watch.
Yeah.
You would probably learn so much just by watching guys play.
But I just want to bring this up because it's one of the funniest things that I've encountered recently. It is a full reversal. I am the filthy casual, and I come in because Magic the Gathering has recently introduced, in the last 2 or 3 years, Lord of the Rings, Final Fantasy, Spider-Man, Ninja Turtles, Avatar: The Last Airbender, among other sets. Doctor Who. And that was what got me into the game. Was being like, okay, so there's all these Spider-Man cards. I feel an almost obligation to get Spider-Man cards. I'm being given a bunch of Spider-Man cards. Let's do this. And I built a Spider-Man deck. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It won for the first time ever yesterday, which was great.
Oh, nice.
I have a deck that I call Rooftop Warriors, and it's Spider-Man and Ninja Turtles. And the commander of it is Aragorn the Uniter. Because in Lord of the Rings, I figure the closest thing to a superhero is Aragorn, who has this weird parentage, has superpowers, is this leader that's voted among everybody to lead everyone. He's almost a Superman type in a lot of ways. So it's like, okay, that kind of fits the flavor and all these other things. And I'm just sitting here having a great time trying to figure out how much money I want to spend on stupid things that just fit the flavor of the deck as opposed to just being functionally a part of the deck. I was talking to a buddy of mine, and she was like, what you need to understand is that Magic the Gathering has meant something to a great deal of people for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And having these new sets with their, in her words, terrible art, which I disagree with, but I understand where she's coming from, bastardizing this game is very troubling and upsetting to them. And it's just very funny that in this roundabout way, through Marvel, I have found myself on the other end of the sword from where I am with Marvel.
Yeah.
Of just being like, you don't understand the thing I love, and you don't love it the way you should, and it's not as good as it should be, and you should be having even more fun with it than you are, and it's only because it's so bad that you're enjoying it this way. And I'm just like on the other end being like, I like turtles. And it's like...
See, I can see that, though, because Magic was its own thing for so long, and then all of a sudden, like I just noticed coming soon, there's going to be a Star Trek set coming.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like, I can understand people who are passionate about Magic being mad about these theme sets.
Oh, yeah.
I can absolutely understand.
I 100% get it. It's just so funny to be on the other end of it. Yeah. For the first time ever in my life, I'm usually the one on the other end being like, you're ruining the thing I love. I'm not going to shut up just because you are made uncomfortable by the fact that I hate that you are doing this. The good thing about
being you, though, is you can appreciate them.
Yes.
Where other people can't.
No. So I have the capacity to be like, yes, I understand that I like this. And I also understand that other people don't like this. And I also understand that my liking this when other people don't like this means that I get cheaper cards. Because the cards that I want, no one else wants.
And fucking, when I found out how expensive Magic cards were.
Yeah.
So the older ones, holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Pokemon. Fucking Magic eats your lunch when it comes to cards.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah, it does. You'll just be sitting there and you're like, man, I just spent $30. I don't even know how I spent $30. Yeah. So anyway, Magic the Gathering, really fun. Hopefully one day I'll get better enough that I can play other people in it. Okay. The NFL Draft was this week.
Yes.
So there's 2 stories on this. One we covered a little bit last week. The other we couldn't because it hadn't happened yet. But anybody who's been paying attention could have definitely known that this was going to happen. So we'll start with the thing that we talked about last week: the ongoing struggle of the New England Patriots and Mike Vrabel, and by extension Diana Rossini, who I still want to leave out of this because her part of the story is over.
Yes.
right? She had to go through the worst part of it. She had her honor impugned upon and all these other things, and had to resign, and had to do with the spectacle of The Athletic coming out in favor of her, and then the New York Times being like, no, we do not deal with this kind of shit. Okay, and we have it in the contracts that we don't deal with this shit, so even if you are friends with her, we're not just going to let this slide. And then it blew up into this whole thing, and now she doesn't have a job. I'm still convinced she's going to go work for Fox or ESPN
absolutely.
at some point. Somebody who doesn't care about journalistic integrity. So her story is over. Mike Vrabel continues to ruin her life in a lot of really interesting ways. Again, if you don't know what we're talking about, in the end of March, they were caught. The owners' meetings were in, I want to say, Phoenix or Tempe, and they were caught 2 hours away a few days before the owners' meetings.
At like a couples retreat.
At a couples retreat. They say that there were a bunch of other people there. They cannot substantiate or bring forward any of these people. There is no one that will come forward and say that they were there. There is no one with photo evidence. There's no text message change talking about where we're going to meet or what we're going to do today. There's literally no evidence. But Vrabel and these people keep on insisting, no smoke, no fire. And they insist upon this for 3 weeks. And it gets really bad. And all that stuff happens to Diana Rossini. And by this time, she's left. Okay. Vrabel, last week, finally talks about what's going on. And he says, I've had a lot of really difficult conversations with people in my life. And you're just left being like, about what, Mike? Yeah. About what, Mike?
Because hasn't this... Didn't the revelation come out that this has been going on for like 6 years?
So that's the other thing that happened. So Vrabel comes out on Wednesday last week and says, I've had a lot of difficult conversations with people in my personal life, but he doesn't say about what.
Yeah.
And so if you didn't know what he was talking about, you wouldn't know. But we all know. But there's also this journalistic thing of like, but you got to talk about what you're actually meaning. You can't just talk in scare quotes and word salad. That night, ESPN at 12:30 in the evening, midnight, 12:30 midnight, releases an article that goes over a bunch of new details, including that the Patriots tried to squish the story before it came out, and that the New York Post approached everybody involved and asked for any kind of evidence that says that what happened didn't happen, and, hey, we're wrong, we won't post the story if you give us anything. They were unable to give them anything, and then the Patriots tried to buy the story, and that didn't work, and so now we're here. Okay. Thursday, Mike Vrabel decides to announce that he will not be participating in the third day of the draft. He is instead going to go to counseling with his family. There are two questions around this. One, what kind of counseling group only does sessions on Saturday?
Yeah.
And two, you don't think you can wait until Monday to do this? This has to happen this weekend because 8 of the Patriots' 11 picks are on day 3.
And I highly doubt his wife wants to go to counseling. It's probably more of a mediation on how much shit you're going to lose in a divorce.
I think the divorce is coming. I think that's where this really
when
is
you
coming.
are having an affair over 6 years and your wife's going to be like, I'll take you back.
Yeah.
I fucking doubt that shit.
Over 6 years while you have 2 kids with your wife.
Yeah.
Not great.
No.
Not great, Mike.
Yeah.
Not great. But to make it even worse, one of the reasons people speculate that he did this was because even more photos came out, including photos from literally the day before the world ended, March 11th, 2020, involving them making out in a New York nightclub, seemingly.
Yes.
Again, we don't see lip-on-lip action, but it's if you're that close to another person's face, there's only one reason you're that close to another person's face.
They're not telling secrets.
No. I don't care how loud it was in that room. You don't get right up to someone's nose to tell them a secret if it's loud out. And more photos come out of them at a casino right after he gets fired from the Titans.
Yep.
Very interesting, very timely. And all these reports come out all these reports came out from Diana Rossini about all these things that were happening in the Titans organization per sources. Yeah. And now people are like, so all those per sources were Mike Vrabel.
What's that saying? It's pillow talk, baby.
Yeah.
It's pillow talk.
Yeah. So this all rolls into a high holy hell of a mess. And the only reason I'm bringing it up is because even after all of this, there are still reports coming out that the NFL themselves seem to be attached to trying to get squashed, which is that other NFL insiders, are now reporting that Mike Vrabel was on the phone on Saturday with the Patriots during the draft when he was supposed to be stepped away from the team.
Of course he was.
And then that same reporter came out 2 hours later and was like, never mind. In a very like someone came to him and said, hey, pull that report. Pull it right now. Otherwise, you're never going to talk to another New England Patriot ever again on the record about anything. And so it's just like, it's just such a high holy hell of a mess. I really appreciate all the people being like, you got to fire Mike Vrabel. They're never going to do it.
No.
Because they have no ability to do it.
No matter what's going on in society and what's going on with the world nowadays, it's still a boys' club in the NFL.
Not only that.
They're not going to fucking do that.
Not only that, as much as I love the argument, because again, I love all these arguments. I love the argument that you have to fire Mike Vrabel because he's a distraction and you just release Steph Diggs for being a distraction. Yep. You have to fire Mike Vrabel because he doesn't have any ability to inspire the men anymore because he himself is so low in his own feelings about stuff that he can't inspire anybody. You have to fire Mike Vrabel because he is a bad influence on the team and a bad face to put out front. And I'm just sitting here like, hand job Bob, folks.
Yeah.
Hand job Bob owns the team. I don't think the guy who got caught and arrested and charged with soliciting sex in Florida at a parlor, at a massage parlor called Orchids of Asia, I don't think that guy is in any kind of moral position to fire anybody for conduct unbecoming of the team. I just don't.
When you said that, all I could think is, I love Madame Kamei.
Right? Like it's so absurd. The only good thing that has come out of all of this is people actually having the frank conversation of like, man, the Patriots are a fucked up organization when you look at them. When you look at all of the controversies over the last 20 years, the Patriots are a fucked up organization. I'm like, fucking seriously, I've been saying this for 25 years and no one has listened the entire time. They've been so fucked.
See, they know, though, that with the way our society works, come kickoff, no one is going to remember this shit.
No one will care.
They're not going to know. They're not going to remember. No one's going to talk about it. It's going to be gone.
The thing that I think is going to happen, and it's what a lot of Boston sports people are saying should happen, because they don't want to fire their coach, is anybody from Boston who says they want to fire Mike Vrabel is lying.
Oh, there's no fucking way.
They are lying to you.
He took their team to the Super Bowl in his first year. They're not
I want to also note, for the record, went to the Super Bowl because they had the easiest schedule in the NFL last year.
Yes.
Compared to the other teams that had any chance of making it to the playoffs. And had the least amount of injuries because of their easy schedule last year. And looked out insanely in the playoffs in terms of who they played. So I don't want to hear shit about them making it back to the Super Bowl or Drake May being an MVP. Because as far as I'm concerned, we have to see what happens this year.
No, but irregardless of all of that, it's the amount of money they made by getting to the Super Bowl. So that's all that they care about.
Yeah, that's all they care about. So that's the Patriot side of things. They're a high holy hell of a mess. And I'm just sitting here like, oh, it's so nice not being in a dirty franchise full of dirty people.
And then you think about your GM.
I just have to deal with dumb fucking idiots who don't know.
Dude, your GM is a fucking moron.
I'm so done. Steve, I'm so done. I'm so mad, and I'm so done.
I don't know who's worse, him or the Rams GM.
I like that. That is hilarious to me, but it's a one-off, and that's what makes it funny.
Yeah.
Right? So the Rams have this thing of fuck them picks. And they are, and have been for years now, under the auspice of, we don't need to draft anybody in the first round. We need to take that capital and put it towards a player that we know is good, instead of taking a lottery card on a player who should be good. And we'll just take this high-value lottery card and trade it to somebody so we get somebody who is good.
Did you see McVay's reaction to it?
Yeah. So the Rams did this last year in a kind of weird reversal where they traded their pick to Atlanta and got a second pick this year, and they took that pick that was just like a bonus pick, and they used it on... One of the interesting things about the Diana Rossini story is this idea of insiders spreading information for the self-preservation and good of a specific individual, not necessarily because it's true, effective, or important.
That's correct.
It's got to be the same thing here, because Dan Orlovsky came out on ESPN, and even though he doesn't know where the back of the end zone is, he has been talking at length about how great Ty Simpson is, despite there being no evidence for that. And wouldn't you know it, Ty Simpson has the same agency representing him as Dan Orlovsky. I can't imagine how that would help either of them in any capacity if he got drafted higher in a better place. Oh, I think it's the exact same thing here. because Ty Simpson, who was picked by the Rams at number 13, which is crazy, has played all of one season of college football at Alabama. Fine, okay. But one season of college football, and now is joining up after Matthew Stafford, who at this point has no plans to retire and just won the MVP. So unless he wins a Super Bowl, I don't think he's going to retire this year.
Yeah.
And they clearly didn't talk about it with McVay, who was not in on this kid to begin with, as you can see by the look on his face after the draft. He was so pissed. So I'm just like, well, at least I don't have to deal with that problem, right? That's a huge thing. But instead, I have a way worse problem, which is that my general manager has no fucking idea what value is. He has no concept of what value is. You want to hear what we did, folks? Here's the fun thing that we got to do for the draft. Every other team comes into the draft. One of the things I heard this week about the New England story was that they had to quash it before the draft because the draft is always universally good news for every team.
No, it is not.
First off, I think that might be overblown.
That is a bullshit.
Shador Sanders last year.
Not only that, ask every Bears fan prior to the Caleb Williams draft.
Yeah.
Okay. Teams can fuck up the draft every year.
Ask Donovan McNabb how positive people are after the draft.
Exactly.
But on top of this being the time where everybody has a chance to win.
Dude.
Everybody else came in and made their picks, and they all had a plan, and they all made their picks. And we had a 1, a late stage 1, but a 1, 26. Not bad, right? Famous players who have been picked at 26 include a little guy named Justin Jefferson. You know, maybe you've heard of him. Maybe the best receiver in the league, maybe you heard of him. A guy that could have been on our team if we had stuck and pick, but we traded our pick.
Yeah.
And we got Steph Diggs, which could have worked out, but for any number of reasons it didn't. But you know what? At this point in time, I think I would have rather just had Justin Jefferson. I think that would have solved all of our problems, and we probably have 2 Super Bowls by now, but fine, whatever. Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
So we have the 26th pick, no second-round pick because we traded for DJ Moore, which was an incredibly necessary trade that I am so mad that Brandon Beane waited so long to do.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know why he waited so long. Did you hear what he wanted to do? He wanted to trade for Jalen Waddle. What? That was why we didn't trade for a receiver last year during the trade deadline, was because the number 1 receiver he had his eye on was Jalen Waddle, who plays for the fucking Dolphins!
And he's the number 2 receiver on the Dolphins.
Yeah! And he became the number 1 receiver because Tyreek Hill got hurt.
And he wasn't anywhere near good because the only reason he was good is because people were double-teaming Tyreek Hill, and that left Waddle open to get a lot of passes.
And this was the guy that Brandon Beane said we have to have in division! Not even in conference, in division! Are you insane? What the fuck is wrong with you? Okay, so that's why we couldn't get a wide receiver that we needed, and that's why Brandon Cooks was catching passes at the end of the Denver game. Okay? Great! Awesome! Okay?
Oh my god, dude.
So, if only we had drafted recently a wide receiver and a cornerback in the first round that could help us, except, oh wait! We came up negative on both of those too! In the one case, OK Coleman wasn't even drafted in the first round, but we traded back. And we gave picks to the fucking Chiefs. And we said, take Xavier Worthy. And we gave picks to the Jaguars. And we said, take Brian Robinson. We don't want those guys. We want this guy who won't work for us, who doesn't like us, who doesn't want to be here. And we're going to keep him around like some kind of weird hostage situation. I don't get this plan, but sure, we're going to fix it now.
Mary was so focused on you as you were doing that.
So, this is a repeat offender issue then, because what happens in this draft? In this draft where we have so many needs, and we have a 1, and we have a late 3, right? So I get it, right? So the 1 is around pick 26, the late stage 3 is around pick 82. There would be nothing in between 26 and 82, and that's a lot of picks. I get it. You do not trade with the Texans, okay? Don't trade back with the Texans so that they can put more roster spots on their field.
The best defense in the league.
We need to beat them
Yes.
to get anywhere.
Yes.
So don't trade with them. And then you know who you definitely don't trade with? The fucking New England Patriots! You do not trade with the New England Patriots! I don't care if they're offering you anything! I don't care if it's fucking Rumpelstiltskin! I don't
give two shits who has the bag. You do not trade with the Patriots for any reason because we have to play them twice a year, and now you're giving them value that they wouldn't normally have. And it's not Bill Belichick, who was a terrible drafter. It's a whole different team of people.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you? And then as a coup de grace, they say, you know what? We don't even want us pick in the first round. Who likes to pick in the first round? Who wants first round talent and contract availability and all these other things when we could pick out of the second round? So let's just trade with the Titans, another team we're gonna have to play regularly in order to go back to the second round. And now we have 2 third-round picks and 3 fourth-round picks and 3 fifth-round picks. Oh boy. Oh good. A second-round pick and several third-round picks and a bunch of shit. Just a bunch of bullshit. Do you understand? Do you understand that these are all lottery tickets?
Yeah.
And some of them have weighted odds. And the idea that you're going to fix the entire team with late third and mid and late round fourth and fifth round picks is insane. The idea that you're going to trade first round value so you can just stack picks in the fourth and fifth round is out of... What are we even fucking talking about? Like, in what world, by what reality is this a plan? I'm not saying any of the players we got are bad. I don't know if any of the players we got are bad. We fixed a lot of spots that we needed to fix. We got a lot of defensive help. We got a few wide receivers. We got help. But here's the thing. One, Brandon Beane is a terrible judge of talent.
He's fucking terrible.
He's a terrible judge of talent. The only reason he's still here is because Josh Allen worked out, which was not a guarantee.
No, especially early on.
We got a lot of shit for picking him in the top 10. And honestly, deserved given the first 2 years of his career. So, like, that was a miracle that worked out. And now you're just continuing to take these middling talents, either avoiding taking strong talent that you know you have, and now you're deferring to taking these middle talents because that's worked for you in the past, but that's worked for you in the past because the coaches were able to coach them up to a point. I don't know what Joe Brady's going to do. I don't know how Joe Brady's going to handle the defense. I don't know how Joe Brady's going to handle anything. We cannot count on us just coaching them up. So the idea that you would, again, by the end of everything, the Bills made several more trades and ended up with 2 2-round picks, I think 1 third-round pick.
No, 2 2s, 2 4s, 3 5s, and 3 7s.
Yeah. So that's not good.
No.
That fucking sucks.
Well, and I'm looking at the Sports Illustrated grading of the drafts.
Yeah.
For the AFC East, the Bills were a D+. And I did notice this. Dolphins a B-, Patriots a B, and the Jets an A.
Yeah.
And as the draft was going, I'm like, man, these other teams are getting a lot better.
Yeah.
Buffalo ain't doing shit.
No, Buffalo doesn't know how to take
They
picks.
have no idea how to
They
fucking
don't know
do it.
how to pick players. They don't know how to judge talent. They do this thing where they think they're really smart and they basically neg like a teenage frat boy meeting a girl for the first time. They neg these players that they like and they're like, "Oh, I thought that guy would be faster." And it's because they want no one else to take that guy. And so they make it sound like this guy's a loose cannon or not a great option or a possible bust. And then they take that guy and everybody knows this is what they do because they've been doing it for years. This is Brandon Beane's bread and butter. This is what he does. And he's so shit at this. When I logged on and I saw that I was waiting for our pick, traded to the Texans. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, that's not even, like, trading to the Titans is a pain in my ass because of personal reasons, right? I hate the Titans.
Yes.
For a variety of reasons, but mostly the Music City Miracle.
Yeah.
The Texans are an actual problem. That's not just me being like, I hate this team, blah, blah, blah. That's an actual problem. That if we played them straight up, I don't know if we win that game.
Exactly. And they're a legitimate first-round playoff team you're going to see.
You cannot give them ammunition. You're giving ammunition to the Patriots. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why would you help the Patriots in any way? And it just reminds me of all those times that Washington has traded with Philadelphia.
Yes.
Or where Minnesota has traded with Green Bay. And it always works out well for the one team and super poorly for the other team.
Yeah.
And I just think we're going to be the other team in this scenario where it's like, could TJ Parker be good? Yeah, he could be great. You know, he could be the next Micah Parsons. He could be the next Lawrence Taylor. He could be the next Fred Biletnikoff. I don't fucking know, man.
Fred Biletnikoff was a wide receiver.
Yeah.
You gotta pick people in the first round, okay? And here's a brand new crazy idea. How about this, all right? What if, instead of leaving the draft with 7 players, we leave the draft with 4 really good players?
Yeah.
And we start packaging some of these picks together with some of the offsets from our crew of guys that we don't need anymore, and we start packaging those together for some higher level picks. Because I gotta tell you, this ain't working.
No.
If it was working, we would have won the Super Bowl by now. But you know who went to the Super Bowl last year? Not us. The Patriots did. So please stop fucking around.
And I puke in my mouth saying this. A team that did exactly what you said the Bills should do. Kansas City fucking Chiefs. 2 firsts and a second, and they got 3 defensive studs.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the last thing you need.
When I get to the end of the draft and I realize my hope is for the Bills to go 4-13 and have a top 10 pick in the draft and the ability to fire Joe Brady, one and done, and Brandon Beane, and just start fresh with Josh Allen in his 8th year next year, and we can have a top 10 pick to get somebody on the defensive side that can be a real difference maker. Maybe that's the way we go, but this is just horseshit, hamster wheel bullshit.
Terrible.
It's just the same shit every year, and it works the exact same way every year, and it's always a mistake every year. The number of players that you get out of the 4th and 5th and 6th and 7th round who are any decent, any good, there's one every 3 years. It's a miracle. It's an absolute fucking miracle when these guys work out. There are 32 players per round, and you're talking about 1 player out of 5 rounds of the draft make it at that point. And you're trading away our entire draft to try and take more tickets from that section of the picks. This makes no sense to me. And some people are now saying it worked out. We got what we needed. The guys are good. It's going to be exactly what you wanted. The talent is there. I don't fucking care. We took a fucking punter. We took a fucking punter.
I still can't believe that.
How do you take a fucking punter? What the fuck are you? Like, what is this shit, man? Why are we doing this? Why do we do this to ourselves every year? Just fire Brandon Beane. He doesn't know what to do. He can't run a team. And if he could, we would be so much further. The fact that we have gotten as far as we are is in despite of his efforts.
Yeah.
Not because of them. Anyway. Football sucks.
How do you really feel it?
I don't know if I like football anymore.
Yeah, no.
So, Daredevil, episode 6.
Okay.
Season 2, episode 6. This is interesting. This is interesting and challenging.
Especially the start.
Yeah.
Because
it
is a blended child that belongs to Jessica Jones, which makes me think
it's Luke Cage.
It's Luke Cage's
Well,
kid.
I can verify this. I'm coming in here. Citation needed. Here comes the citation fairy. Citation needed. Danny Cage is Luke and Jessica's daughter. Danny Cage canonically is born when they're both part of the New Avengers. She's named after Danny Rand because they were close. Iron Fist and Luke Cage, you might have heard of it. Danny Cage is a character in the Marvel Universe. When this child showed up, I was like, is that Danny Cage?
Yeah.
It is. It is Danny Cage.
It absolutely is.
Her name's Danielle. It's Danny Cage.
Yeah.
It's Danny Cage.
But I mean, just the fact that it's a blended child, it's like there's no way that's not.
And
the only person they really show her bumping boots with is Luke Cage.
We get some like little hints that come in of apparently the government came to some of the defenders, maybe during the snap, maybe after, maybe before. Who the fuck knows with this stupid fucking cockamamie timeline? But apparently the U.S. government came to some of the defenders and offered them work, and it sounds like Luke took the jobs. Now, is that fallout from him running the club in Harlem where he had to make some kind of deal because he was running this illicit club? I don't know, maybe. But it looks like there have been moving and shaking. Jessica no longer lives in the Lower East Side.
Nope.
She moved all the way up
suburbs.
to the Westchester region.
Yep.
And it's just like, okay, we are finally getting some of those pieces that you and I have been just angrily clanking our cans against the prison walls, being like, feed us, give us something.
But that's the thing that's frustrating about this episode, is the way it started got me excited.
Yeah.
I was like, is this the episode I've been waiting for?
Yeah. Kind of, and then kind of not. There's moments. It goes up and down. Because what happens right after that scene is we go back to the hospital, and it's Kingpin in the hospital. And what did we say? The doctor should die.
Yes.
And what did I say? I said he should at least kill the doctor who was talking to him.
Yes.
And what does he do? He
kills
hugs
the
him to
doctor.
death.
And it's just like, okay, so we are on the right. Maybe our pacing is off, right? I would have had that at the end of the last episode, not the beginning of this episode. So our pacing is off, but at least we're hitting the tent poles.
Yes.
That's what's important. And then there's Heather and Buck. And then there's baby Gandolfini's birthday. And then there's baby Gandolfini's drunk mom. And then there's the BB report. And you're just like, oh, God, we were doing so well.
But then, getting back to my excitement with the Jessica Jones part of it. Then she goes into the city.
Yeah, she
meets up with
finds
Daredevil.
Horns, yeah.
And they go to destroy the weapons.
Oh, that's good.
And that's great, except
they do the thing.
Oh, shit, her powers fluctuate.
Ever since she had her baby, her powers are all over the place. There's no doctor for all of this
and
stuff.
Then,
that is not canonical, I want to note, at least not in my readings. I've never seen that moment where Jess is suddenly like, I can't do it,
and this isn't Spider-Man 2 either. And then Jessica Jones disappears.
Yeah,
she's not in the rest of the fucking episode. I'm like, wait a second.
And then she's gone.
You have been setting up this Jessica Jones tease since the beginning of the first season, where it's like, oh, we're going to have these people. And then the end of the first season, you're like, oh, Jessica Jones is going to be in this.
Except she wasn't in the bar.
No, but then she's in it for like fucking 3 minutes.
She was in it for 3 minutes, and it was a great 3 minutes. And then it had a very lackluster ending because she's going to kill what's-his-face, John Wayne over here. And, we can't lose him. We can't lose him.
So she loses her
powers. And then he overpowers her. And I'm like, this guy gets to overpower Jessica Jones. You couldn't come up with a different way to write in that she had to leave or something happened.
So fucking
mad.
At
least put him in a mech suit or something like it's fucking aliens. Like, give me something that you definitely have mech suits for loading and unloading shit.
Even if they would have used this as a Kingpin had given him like a superhero, super soldier serum or something, and that she didn't lose her powers. He just is a powered individual that they're not talking about.
And we didn't know that until this moment.
That would have been better.
Yeah.
But no, she loses
You're not
her
the
powers,
only one
and
on
then
the
she
juice.
fucking disappears.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
She hits a few guys with a door. There's some great moments. She chucks some people around. I love it.
But I'll be honest, even some of the editing in the fight wasn't great.
It was slow.
There were some issues, and there were some jumps, cuts, and stuff that I wasn't...
There were moments that I like and moments I didn't like.
Like when it's as noticeable to where I'm like, then you...
That's janky. Wrong. That's janky. That's janky. Off. That doesn't feel right.
Oh, fuck it.
No, I agree. This episode is like... For every great moment, there's a bad moment, which is a better breakout than what we had been experiencing, which is that you would have these, medium, bad, great, bad, medium, bad, decent. And it's just like, okay, all right, okay, and there was a lot of in the last few episodes. And then here, there's a more fair distribution of but there's still a lot of all the stuff on Staten Island. I was just like, this is a thing, okay. The whole thing with the wake was fine because it took so little time.
Yeah, but I hated the whole Heather's going in her room, and then she takes that ring.
I'm so tired of Heather.
Like, what's with the ring?
She signed her death warrant when she did that because I think they're earrings. I think she grabbed a pair of earrings or something, and she's going to wear it, and the Kingpin's going to see her wearing it, and he's going to kill her.
But at first, I'm like, is that like a bug or something? Was she working for somebody against the Kingpin, and that was her way to
No, she just wanted to remember Vanessa.
But like that whole
because she was so close to Vanessa in all of the 2 scenes that we saw them together.
The whole scene was terrible. And then when Butch comes in, I was just like,
so this is just a waste of our time. She starts choking Buck like it's a thing to do. They're doing like this weird therapy of
Butch,
like
Buck. I mean,
it doesn't matter. Here's the thing. It doesn't fucking matter.
But like he's one of the characters I actually kind of like, but he's getting put into these scenes where it's like you're like him when Kingpin leaves the hospital room and he goes in and shuts the door on the dead doctor.
Yeah.
That's Buck.
That's Buck.
This other shit, I don't fucking need him in this. That's not the character I need.
No, he's supposed to be less is more, and they keep giving us more and more and more of him.
Yes, and I don't fucking need it.
It's just like, first off, I don't buy that Buck is suddenly friends with baby Gandolfini. I don't buy it.
Yeah,
I do not buy it.
Fucking like
Second,
that.
I do not buy this whole stupid relationship with Buck and Heather.
Yeah.
Also, I don't care
about this relationship with Buck and Heather.
I don't give a fuck about either of them.
So, like, I don't know why we're spending all this time with Buck and Heather, and she's choking him and having flashbacks and all. I don't fucking care, man. Nobody cares. I can't imagine anybody in this world who cares about this. Because this show, I want to reiterate, is mostly made for hardcore Marvel fans, and I don't think anybody, I think you could pull 500 people, and I don't think anybody would be able to name Heather as their favorite character. I think most people wouldn't even know who Heather was if you brought her up to 500 people who had watched the show. If you found 500 Marvel fans who had watched everything Marvel that had come out over the last 200 years, you'd find a bunch of idiots who have memorized every single character in every single show, and they're the only people who will know who Heather is. Yeah. And even they won't care what happens to her. They'll just know who she is. Yeah. This is pointless. This is so garbage, and it takes up so much of our time.
And it's not nearly as bad as the Baby Gandolfini.
The Baby Gandolfini stuff is just like, so the whole thing with Baby Gandolfini, there's like these two Buck plot lines going off. So on the one end, you have him and Heather and their continued relationship, which has come back after 2 episodes. I think it should have stayed dead. And then you have Baby Gandolfini, and Buck is telling him, like, oh, you need to feed the person you think is the rat some fake information. And that way you can verify who the rat is. And he's, like, coaching him on how to be part of the mob. And I'm just like, what? But this means we have to hang out with Baby Gandolfini. Yeah. But that just means it's more time with him.
Fucking mother and her pyramid schemes and shit.
And she's into Vitamix or whatever the fuck it is. And it's like, oh, good. Oh, great.
But, like, the thing that's really pissing me off about the Baby Gandolfini side of it is, okay, so he's the deputy mayor, right?
He's the deputy mayor of communications.
Deputy mayor of communications. In order to have that role, you have to have a modicum of intelligence.
No, because he works for the Kingpin, and the Kingpin just hires people that he likes.
I know, that's the whole Trump thing. But it's like, you need to still have... You have to be able to breathe and walk and chew gum at the same time type of deal. I think you could wake up a coma patient, give them a brief synopsis of the story, and they'd be like, oh, well, fucking BB's obviously the leak.
Yeah.
And this whole thing where they're drawing out him trying to figure out who it is, and is it BB or is it... It's like, and dude, now the only person you've told this shit to is BB, and she's a fucking reporter.
Yeah, a known reporter.
I'm getting so mad with this because they keep dangling, and then at the end...
It's so stupid.
He figures out it's her, but then he's like, oh, well, I gotta save you. It's like, what the fuck?
Well, he figured out it was her without the whole proof that the whole episode was based on. There was this whole concept of you have to feed her false information. So they're going to go, because it's his birthday, they're going to go to his mom's house. And so even though Vanessa just died, I guess you got to go to your mom's house for your birthday on Staten Island. And so he goes to his mom's house, and BB comes with him as a friend. Oh, they're just friends. And so he feeds her this fake story that Fisk isn't running for re-election, and she writes it up, and she's going to send it to a source because it's not right for her, and then she deletes it. And then Daniel still figures out that she's the leak, and I'm just like, so what was the point of all of this? What was the purpose of all of this?
It was pointless.
Why did we go through all of these hoops if we were just going to end here in the first place? Why are we on Staten Island?
Yeah. And then Baby Gandolfini, who is supposedly ride and die with Fisk, finds out that his wannabe girlfriend is the leak, and then still warns her that Buck is Buck is, going to kill her because
I'm trying to warn you for Buck.
And it's like, I don't know where your fucking loyalties lie, because this girl, she's your friend, you never kissed or dated or anything, and it's like, I don't know what's going on with that whole bullshit storyline.
It's so bullshit. I mean, it's ironically, in a weird way, it's Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel and NFL insider Diana Rossini, where they're two people trying to use each other for information and access. In the case of Baby Gandolfini, he wants access to her. Yeah. And in the case of BB, she wants access to the Kingpin via him, and she's willing to put up with his sexual miscreantness in order to get that. And she's just feeding him along. I never for a minute look at this as a legitimate romance in her eyes. And I'm just left being like, this is garbage. Yeah. Like, this is such an enormous waste of my time. Once again, I'm in the middle of a superhero show being like, where are all the fucking superheroes? Yeah. Where the fuck are they? I watched this show for crime fighting. Where the fuck is the crime fighting? Oh, but you gave us the most blatant version of the Fisk as Trump with the flag on the mom's house, which is just a Trump flag with Fisk written on it.
Yeah.
Instead of Trump. But it is just a Trump flag, and then they just took out Trump and they put on Fisk. It's the most beyond the pale, transparent, garbage, bullshit writing, and it's just, all of this is so frustrating. And I come back to, I fixed your problem, Marvel. And I get it. You don't know me. My input means nothing to you. But, like, once I realized if this show took place during the snap, that makes the show 10 million times better. Now I can't stop thinking about it. And every time I watch this show, I'm just like, ugh, it's not bad. But it's not nearly half as good as it should be. And it's because of bullshit like this. It's because we introduced a bunch of characters that no one cares about because we don't have the time or budget to have Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio in every scene. And so now we have to have a bunch of other characters around that can take up time in the show, but you don't care about any of them. You don't like any of them. You're not interested in any of them. Oh, great. You brought out Lily Taylor to play the governor of New York, and she's having tense conversations with Matthew Lillard. Oh, great.
That whole storyline.
I don't care. There's a moment where Buck is talking to her Lieutenant AG, and he's like, but like, it's my turn next. Like, she's definitely not going to run. And Buck's like, well, like, maybe she will
it's
run.
So fucking dumb.
And it's just like, what is this? Why are we doing this? Like, we're at Vanessa's wake. Why does any of this matter? Why are we talking about any of this? How is any of this important to what we're doing right now?
It seems like they're trying to make this into a smarter show than it is.
Yeah.
Like, this is big.
It's supposed to be West Wing with fisticuffs.
I was going to say either West Wing or the House of Cards type of thing. And it's like, in like the Matthew Lillard thing,
pointless.
I hated the interaction with the governor, but then I also hated when he calls Fisk and Fisk doesn't say anything and then just hangs up. I wanted the Kingpin to be the Kingpin and be like, now you know who's run, now you know who's boss, or like something. Yeah. And it's like, to me, that was kind of a missed opportunity. It wasn't a payoff. I know he's in mourning, but it is the Kingpin, and the Kingpin wouldn't just fucking...
All it takes is Fisk picking up and listening to Matthew Lillard for 5 seconds and being like, allow me to relieve you of some of the preconceived notions you have.
Exactly.
I am the one in charge.
Yes.
You work for me.
Perfect.
And that's
quietly, and then just hang up the phone.
Yeah.
And see Lillard's face when that happens. But instead,
I expect you to deliver tomorrow like we agreed. Oh my God. Like, that's all you need. That's the fucking Kingpin. This is not rocket science. I want to reiterate, I'm not some genius.
Yeah.
This is super fucking easy. I feel like Matt Damon in Good Will Hunting. Do you know how easy this is for me to do?
Yes.
I understand that this is hard for you, but this is so fucking easy for me.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I feel.
And then the fight at the end. So there's a conversation between Daredevil and Kingpin.
I would say more good than bad on this one.
Well, the reason why I like, at first, yes, I'm like, oh, this is good.
Yeah.
When the Kingpin starts taking over the fight, the amount of beating he puts on Matt, and once again, Matt is just a normal dude who's just a little strong and has heightened senses.
And reinforced suit of armor.
Yes. Kingpin literally, probably breaks most of the bones in his body.
Yeah.
And the fight should have been over.
But then my thing was when D takes out his sticks, like, I'm just like, you can't fight Kingpin with batons,
But that's
man.
the thing. It's like,
if you need to even the score, that means you're so far behind on the card. Like,
but even when he pulls the sticks out, it's like they were setting that up to be like, oh, okay, now it like the Mandy Patinkin, I am not left-handed, and he switches hands, and it's like, no, the Kingpin threw you into a fucking wall.
Yeah,
he has literally broken you, and then he just stops.
He punches through a brick column.
Yes,
like not into. Through the brick column.
And that's why I agree with you, the good, because that shows, like, that was Kingpin in his powers. But then he pulls back. And it's like, no, he would have gone. Like, he killed the fucking doctor because his wife died and the doctor tried to save her.
Yeah.
Here he has his greatest enemy.
God, I will say.
In his fucking hands.
That doctor was writing his own
that was the dumbest fucking
when
thing.
He was going through and he's like, now she's passed on to the private, quiet darkness we all yearn for. And it's like, you're fucking dead. Yeah. You're so fucking dead.
Give me a hug, you big angry governor. I know you're a villain who's gone to jail. Give me a hug.
Let's hug it out.
Dude, that was the dumbest
You're so fucking
I was
dead.
so mad. Like, I was... what's that... I'm happy you're dead. Joker in Batman.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm happy you're dead, Doctor.
I honestly, I think that is where the show has to go from here in order to redeem any of these storylines. Is all the characters we dislike need to find unfitting ends at the hands of the Kingpin, specifically. So, Baby Gandolfini finds out that the Kingpin knows that he's the source of all these leaks, and even after begging and pleading for Kingpin to forgive him, he gets just fucking thrown through a wall into the river or something.
Yeah.
And Heather is wearing Vanessa's ring, and Kingpin sees and just tears off her arm and kills her with it. Just all these characters that we've wasted so much time on.
Yeah.
I feel like the only way to redeem the amount of time we've spent with them is to have a gratuitous, almost Quentin Tarantino-esque ending.
Yeah.
Of just like, you hated this character, now watch them die in agony. And it's like, okay, all right, that works in some cases.
Show, though. Like,
it's not going to happen in the show. The show is not built for that.
No.
It doesn't have that kind of mentality, which is why the ending was so interesting. You have this ending where the cops have surrounded City Hall, and Karen, who has a great episode, because she finally goes to...
until the end. It's like...
She goes to Matt and she says, we're losing because of this mentality. And I know that years and years ago, I told you that murder is wrong and you can't kill the Kingpin. I'm telling you now, I was wrong. And you should have killed the Kingpin years and years ago. And we would have saved all this heartache and problems and pain if you had just killed Kingpin. Foggy would still be alive if you had just killed Kingpin. And it's like, yeah, she's not wrong. Tell me she's not wrong.
And you were so right about this from what you said last week. As Matt is trying to do counterpoint with her, I was getting so mad at him.
Yeah.
I'm like, you are a fucking...
You're an idiot.
I cannot take this shit.
Well, it got to the point where I wanted to sit down with Matt. I do this thing when I watch, especially superhero shows. I very much put myself in the story, and visually, in my own mind, put myself in the story. And I just want to take Matt aside and be like, but you know that this is the sacrifice that you have to make.
Yeah.
Is you have to do the thing you don't want to do. And it's for the betterment of everybody, and it's the pain and guilt that you will have to burden for the rest of your life, and it's the right thing to do, and you know you have to do it. And that's the sacrifice that you are being asked to make. And if God doesn't want you to do it, then like Abraham, he'll stop you. But I'm telling you right now, the sacrifice you have to make is to do the one thing you don't want to do.
I agree.
Because that's the one thing that you have to do for everyone else. And there's just... I'm so frustrated with Matt because he keeps on hammering on this idea. And after the Netflix series where 2 of the 3 seasons, he's like, nah, I'll kill him. I'll just fucking kill him. I'm done. I'm done playing this game. I'm done with all this insanity. I'm just going to fucking kill him. And to go back to first season, Matt, of just like, no, it's the system and we just have to wait and it'll be fine if we just believe in ourselves. It's like, Matt, you're so fucking wrong.
You're so fucking wrong. And I was unhappy with... So that scene at the end in front of the City Hall where there's the group of people, which they really were kind of making that like the Joker crowd at the end of Joker.
It wasn't even that big a crowd.
No, it wasn't. But like they all have the Daredevil masks
that sucked.
Instead of the Joker face. But like it's like, okay, you're really...
That sucked.
But what Karen and them were doing when they put the video up on the wall and inciting them even more... It's like, you're going to get them all killed because ICE don't give a fuck because they've been given a green light to take care of shit.
Yeah.
And they're just going to fucking kill them all. And I don't know why Karen and them didn't think that.
Well, and what is this going to do? The people who are already protesting are already on your side.
Yeah, exactly.
Putting this out there isn't going to increase their ability to do anything. It's just going to make them madder. It's not going to make the ATVF change their mind and suddenly be like, we're going to be not ICE and be better. So you must have a newspaper guy. You send it to a newspaper guy of some kind. I know she says that her source died and what she said never made it on air, and that's part of why she did it, is just to get it out there. But like, then make 500 copies and send them all over the country.
That's what I was going to say. National news.
Yeah.
If you put it on like a CNN, guess what?
Yeah.
There are other superheroes that obviously don't know what's going on in New York. that might fucking figure out what's going on in New
You
York.
think Sam Wilson might have some kind of feeling about what's happening and want to come back after what happened at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Which, who knows when he was at the UN, if that was a year before this, 5 years before this, 5 years after this, you never fucking
Who can fucking say? They did set it up in this episode that I think that Kingpin is no longer going to be mayor by the end of the season. Mm-hmm. I think Lisa, or whatever her name is, the black woman that works with him that decided to be part of the corruption, I think she's going to become mayor, and that's why she's giving the key to the city to Spider-Man in the new Spider-Man movie. It's because I think it's going to be like this 180 where it's like, oh, we love superheroes. Let's give out superhero awards to everybody because we have to distance ourselves from Fisk and all the things that he did. So this is yet another instance of Marvel coming out with a trailer that ruins the thing that they're currently working on.
Yeah.
And you're just being like, okay, but like, that doesn't make any sense for where we are in the timeline, though, right? Why would you even have that in the trailer? That makes no sense given, the everything of what we're dealing with over here. And it just makes us kind of have moments like this where I'm like, well, ultimately, I don't think any of this is going to matter because I think Fisk is going to, by his own volition, decide that without Vanessa, he doesn't care about any of this anymore. And he's just going to walk away. And it's just going to be, okay, more sad Kingpin face. Okay, great. I don't know.
And that's the part that's I'm done with sad Kingpin.
I'm done with sad Kingpin face.
We need confident, I can do whatever the fuck I want, and I have no attachment to anyone, Kingpin.
This reminds me a lot of the beginning of the first season of Daredevil. Like the natural beginning of the first season of Daredevil. When we are introduced to Kingpin, and he is still up and coming. He's still part of all these mobs. He's still fighting with the Owl and other guys. God, you remember when the Owl was in the Netflix show? Mm-hmm. Oh, the Owl. That Kingpin had the same kind of scared Kingpin face, and it bothered me then. I was like, this is not the face of the Kingpin.
And then he crushed that dude's head.
And then he crushed the guy's head in the car, and you're like, okay, I feel
better
about this. But like, I'm so tired of sad Kingpin face. Yeah. I'm so tired of Kingpin being like, but what do I want?
It's emo Kingpin.
And it's just
fucking
like,
crazy.
I hate this. This sucks, man. And your analogies are trite at best, bad at worst. The whole of it, just like, I don't know what some of this, who is this for? Who is this? Is this supposed to dissuade people that like Trump but don't understand the evil that he actually commits on a day-to-day basis, who are like Baby Gandolfini? Is this supposed to dissuade them from getting involved in any of this? Is this supposed to give them a moment where they're like, hey, I see myself in Baby Gandolfini, and I think he's in a lot of trouble, so maybe I should rethink about how I look at the world, too. It's like, I don't think any of that shit's going to happen.
No.
So I'm just wondering, what's the purpose of all this in my Marvel show? There's moments I love when Ice gets the shit kicked out of them, but your entire show can't be Ice getting the shit kicked out of them. And even then, at the end of this episode, you have the moment where the one guy who got burned and then rejoined Ice is still like, hey, we don't murder our own people. And Powell's like, I fucking hurt. I killed whoever I fucking want. The weapon's hot. Oh, Karen Page, what do you know? And it's like, where is this all going?
Yeah.
Where's all this going? There doesn't seem to be any actual payoff for anything. The payoff that we get is very mixed at best. It's very passing. It's here and then immediately gone. And,
And, like, Karen Page has been in hiding for quite a while now.
Yeah.
She still doesn't know to put, like, bobby pins in her wig to keep it
She
from
doesn't
falling
know to put on, like, a
head.
fake nose or something.
Wear a fucking hat.
Anything. Put fake gauges on your ears. Like, something to make it so that you look remarkably different, not just a wig that can fall off at any time.
Because she just looks like Deborah Ann Wool in a bad wig.
And, like, I love that White Tiger got to have her full face mask up, but, like, again, that's not enough for me to be like, yeah, this is going to work. It's like, okay, cool. Can I see her do any kind of crime fighting?
Yeah.
No? Are we going to get there? Because I'm starting to have a lot of questions as to whether we're even going to get there. The fight scenes are good when they're good, and they're bad when they're bad. That's not a score you want to have. You want to have a score of, like, you don't care when they're bad because they're so righteously cool that it doesn't even fucking matter. Yeah. And it's just like, it's the end of Avengers. The end of Avengers doesn't make any sense. What's Loki's plan? It makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
You go through the entire second half of that movie, it makes no fucking sense. No one cares because the action and the characters are so fun and it's such a roller coaster that you don't care.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while you have Tony shooting Cap Shield and all the fans are like, oh! And like, that's all we want. And you're trying to turn it into this other thing. We have a few minutes left. I want to, just while we're talking about other prestige superhero stuff, the trailers for Clayface and another trailer for Spider-Man Noir dropped. And I just, like, we were talking a lot about this before the show. I look at both these pieces and neither of them makes me think that they're going to be great. The Clayface thing, it looks like what we came up with at the beginning of the show was, you have the softest softball of all time in the Batman the Animated Series Clayface episode.
Yes.
Which everybody universally agrees is great.
The death scene in that is...
It's so... all of it's good.
Death scene, I'm using quotation fingers.
The whole of it is so good. And it's 30 minutes. You can definitely pad that out in one form or another with flashbacks or whatever you want. Keep the gay relationship. It's dynamic. It's interesting. And it's you cut all that stuff out, and from this trailer I can't even grasp, like, is this another Jokification where he falls in a vat of something? Is this another Two-Face where he gets splashed with something and now he gets this miracle cream that makes it so that he can put his face back together when it was supposed to just be like a beauty product that he used? Like, I don't know. I feel like you're overcooking the egg on this one, making it overly complicated. And you had the great point that it just feels like a David Cronenberg movie.
Yeah.
Where it's just body horror. And it's just like, okay. Is there going to be superhero stuff in it?
And I brought this up before. This is one of those problems that Sony had with the Spider-Man universe characters that don't have Spider-Man in it. They don't work because you're missing the major glue that holds it together, which is Spider-Man has to be in... Batman has to be in this, but there's no talk of Batman being in this movie. How can you have this villain taking place in Gotham and there is no Batman component to this? Like, I don't fucking understand their thinking on doing a spin-off character of Batman in the new DC universe before introducing Batman, because they said it's not going to be the Pattinson Batman.
Well, that's what I was about to say, is that at the very least tell us what universe we're in, because there's like 9 million Batmen running around.
Yeah.
Take your pick. It doesn't fucking matter. You want to have this take place in the George Clooney universe? I think you'll get applause, honestly. I think people would be like, wow, what a dynamic choice.
No, this is not campy at all.
But like that's what I'm saying is like, at the end of The Flash, people still saw George Clooney at the end of The Flash and said, hey, that's fun. Like, there's still stuff you can do that people will give you credit for just trying. And I feel like you're not trying. I feel like you're trying to hide that this is a superhero thing, which is what happens with all these prestige superhero pieces, is let's see how much of the superhero stuff we can hide and just not have as a part of the show. And it's like, but that's why I want to watch the movie, why I want to watch the show.
Exactly.
That's the entire reason I'm here, is for the superhero stuff. I came up with this idea before the show of, like, even if you don't have Batman, have a Batman archetype. Like, have this take place in the 1950s and you have Wildcat, who was Batman before Batman and is just like an old boxer who trains other superheroes. He's part of the JLA. Like, that's something. Yeah. That's something. Give me something. You're giving me nothing but the shadow of a big spiky fist, and that's supposed to be enough for me to go, and it's just not. No. It's just not. I'm just not impressed by this. The effects look good. The style looks like it could be okay, but ultimately we both came away from this being like, this looks like another version of the Joker where you take a DC villain, a very popular director style, and you combine the two, and there it was Scorsese and the Joker, and here it's Cronenberg and fucking Clayface. And it's just like, could this work? Yeah. Is this interesting? I don't know. Do we need it? Only if you prove to me that we do, and that's not great. You know, that's not the direction you want to come from. Whereas when they announced this, everybody was like, oh, that episode of Batman the Animated Series is my favorite episode of Batman the Animated Series. Because it's fucking great!
Yeah. Like, I can understand doing a Joker standalone movie. The Joker is, in my opinion, the greatest villain in pop culture history.
He's definitely the most long-lasting.
Definitely, but just like, if you can play it right, like the way Mark Hamill did in the animes, if you could play it right where he's a psychopath, but thinks everything is hysterical.
And
the Heath Ledger wrote one.
People have allowed him to evolve.
Exactly.
There's this idea that wasn't around when I was a kid, that there are 4 Jokers.
Yeah.
In canon, there are 4 Jokers, and that's why they act differently, and they behave differently, and they have different ideas of what they want out of life, and have different memories of things. And it's like, because there's 4 of them. It's like, that's a really dynamic, interesting idea.
Yeah. But then you have Clayface, who we all love but he's not
He's usually
not a
stand-in.
character that's going to lead a franchise.
It's one of those things where when he's included, it's in very specific roles. And so in Young Justice, he's included as kind of this bruiser villain that you find every once in a while that's like a high-level villain. That's a problem. In some of the Batman, he's used as a stand-in, where you need someone to appear to be in prison, the Riddler. And so you have Clayface look like the Riddler in prison, and now the Riddler can go off and do whatever he wants. Blah, 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 blah. Or you have the Harley Quinn show, where he's played by Alan Tudyk and is just a well-spoken British man for some reason. I still don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Like 90% of what happens in that show, it just doesn't make sense to me. There's a lot of senseless violence, and then superheroes coming in and being like, "I'll save the day." It's like, you let 200 people die. It's too late to save the day. You need to be here 5 minutes ago. And that's that show, rinse and repeat. I don't get it.
See, and I'll be honest, my biggest concern with this is they are going to make him like Chameleon, where he's just going to change his face.
Yeah.
That's not Clayface.
That's not Clayface. He's a giant guy.
Yes,
he's enormous.
Who can change his entire body to look like anybody.
Yeah.
And I'm so nervous that they face is in the name.
And he's a great actor.
Oh, he's a phenomenal actor.
The other thing is that he's Matt Gargan is not Gargan. Hagen.
Yeah,
Matt Hagen is a great actor.
And that's why I'm worried that they're playing him too young in this.
Yeah.
I would have liked like an actor in their 40s to be able to show, because Matt Hagen was a well-known, lauded actor who had been acting for a long time.
Yeah.
It was kind of seeing like a downturn in his career.
He was like a Sylvester Stallone in the late 90s.
Exactly.
Where like even whatever you say about Rocky and First Blood, people love those movies, and Stallone's performance in those movies is legitimately great.
Yeah.
No matter what you say about anything else. Hey, Mary, come on, man. But like I don't know. Could this work? Yeah, I have less faith in it now. And it just feels like one of those things where it's being done for a very specific crowd who doesn't know anything about comic books.
Yeah.
And those are the people that are really excited about it. It's like, oh, it's a horror movie with comic book stuff in it, and I know just enough about it to care. And it's like, okay. Once again, we are sitting here as the hardcores, and after my magic soliloquy, telling you, can you get casuals in here to fill out your crowd if you water it all down? Yeah. I still think the casuals will show up if it's not watered down. And I think if you made like a legitimately great superhero comic book version of some of these things and you didn't water down the superhero part of it, I think it would be just as appealing to the casual fan as anything else.
And do you know what most casual fans are not into? Body horror movies.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're not even going to get those people. Like, I guarantee most people that saw that trailer are like, I don't want to see that. Yeah. That looks gross. And it's like, you're not going to get that crowd then. This is not the substance. Okay? That was like, I think that was a one-off as far as the body horror. And that didn't even tear up the box office. It just got a lot of awards.
It had again, a very specific crowd of people.
Yes.
That were very, very excited about it and very, very vocal. And that's great. I don't know. Cronenberg has never been a wide appeal kind of guy.
Yeah.
You know, Existence wasn't the blockbuster of the summer when it came out.
No.
It had Jude Law in it, not the blockbuster of the summer when it came out. And I just, I look at some of the stuff, and I just wonder, is this worth it? Is this going to work? And ultimately, if this isn't for hardcore fans, and it's not for casual people, who's going to actually care about this? And it's going to be the, 200,000 people who are excited about it online now, and then it's going to have a terrible week off drop the second week, and it's going to be another one of those things that shows up on Warner Bros.
They'll look at that as, Clayface doesn't work as a character.
Yeah.
No. What you should have done is this should have been the villain of your first Batman movie, because then it can say, look, it's not the Joker, it's not the Riddler, we have a villain that everyone loves that has never been shown on screen. That would have been a great way to introduce Batman into the DC universe. But no, you're going to put this character out there, the movie's going to tank, they're going to say, well, it doesn't fucking work, and then we'll never see Clayface again.
Even if you did it as a Nightwing thing, where it's you have Nightwing, and it takes place in Bloodhaven, and there's this weird thing going on with small crimes, and it seems to be getting further and further up, and you don't want to call in the Titans because you want to stand on your own, dick, and you definitely can't call in Bruce because The last thing you need is for Bruce to be all over your life again, and you only left him like 2 weeks ago, so like you really got to prove yourself, and you're going through these weird costume changes, and you're trying out different things. There's some cool shit you could do here, and then you have Nightwing versus Clayface, and a third villain of some kind that you throw in there. Let's say Blockbuster, or what's the Brother Blood? Like it's something. There's something else you can do in there where they're the actual villain that have been pulling the strings on Clayface the whole time. They were the ones developing the stuff, and it turns out they also make Venom. What's Venom? Well, Venom is going to this place in Puerto Rico to this old Mexican wrestler. What's going on there? Like, there's so many cool things you could do, and you're not doing them.
No.
And instead it's, but we gotta do this prestige thing. It's like, guys, they will never let you sit at the big kids table.
No.
Ask Will Ferrell. Ask fucking Zach Galifianakis. Ask fucking Pete Davidson. Like, so many actors, Bill Burr, so many actors who have tried to be serious actors instead of comedians. They will not let you out of that shell, man.
Never.
As Deadpool says, until you're 100.
Yep.
Like, this is who you are to them. They will never stop thinking that way unless you do something that transcends the genre, which is not going to happen here. If you had, like, let's look at 2 big tentpole pieces for Marvel that should have worked. One did and one didn't. Black Panther, huge success because it transcended the genre and became a cultural touchstone for an entire race of people. Captain Marvel, lesser, but similarly, a lot of women love that movie. Not a lot of men love that movie, so you have that kind of hard break in between. But overall, still seen as transcending the genre and trying to do something different. Whether it's successful or not is another story. This feels so much closer to the Eternals.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
like, we're transcending the genre. It's like, no, you're decimating the genre. You're cutting it off at the knees and just making it so it can't ever do anything ever on its own. I don't get this. I don't get this.
I don't get it either.
I did want to just. I don't want to talk about it. We got to stop the show.
Spider-Man Noir.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's where my take's gonna be on this.
Yeah.
Going off of this trailer, I think. And I agree with you. I think the big problem is going to end up being Nick Cage's age. Yeah. Because it looks like every action scene is obviously not him when he has the mask on. Because the body is much smaller. And it's either a stuntman whose body is not the same shape as Nick Cage, or it's bad CGI. It's one of the two.
It's definitely one of the two. And you can tell because he's doing like big Nick Cage movements in the costume to make it seem like he's more like Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Like these big movements with his
but
hands.
But
and his
like
arms.
you look at, even in the scenes where you see Nick Cage's face, he's a larger individual than when he has the fucking mask on.
Every time he falls, I'm like, did you break a hip, Grandpa? Like, what part of this am I supposed to take seriously? You took an excellent, awesome, cool character and you ruined him. I was thinking today, because I saw this trailer, and I hadn't watched it at the time, but I knew it was a thing we were going to talk about, and I wanted to come up with an actor from the 1940s that I think would be better as a 1940s Spider-Man than Nick Cage. And I couldn't do it, because all the actors then looked like they were in their 50s when they were in their 30s. So it's very difficult to cast a person in his 20s without finding somebody who was so up and coming that nobody would have known about them at the time. The closest I got was Dana Andrews. The closest I was like, Dana Andrews isn't bad.
See, if I had to say somebody from the 40s, because this actor was big in the 50s and 60s, Gene Kelly, a young Gene Kelly with his muscular, he was a very muscular person. He moved. He was a very good actor. Could be serious. Could be.
But it's such a dark story. It's such a dark story. I feel like it's too dark for Gene Kelly. The other guy I came up with was Bill Holden. Bill Holden as Spider-Man. It could work. That could be interesting.
Kirk Douglas? Would he be too...
Kirk Douglas, I think, has the physicality
because he's done some dark...
Yeah.
Like back then, I don't know if you ever heard of In Harm's Way. It's a movie he did, I think it was with John Wayne, where it was a naval movie. One of the storylines in that is his character rapes a woman who commits suicide. And this is in like the 60s, 50s or whatever.
Post-code.
Yeah, so it was dark.
Yeah.
And so as soon as you said darkness, I'm like, I think maybe, because you look at him in Spartacus, you're like, physically he
has that, yeah.
He could have maybe pulled it off.
But ultimately what I came back to was the perfect Spider-Noir is Andrew Garfield from one episode of Doctor Who. Oh, yes. It's the perfect Spider-Noir. He's in New York City when they're building the Chrysler Building. It's the perfect Spider-Noir. He's already in a Hoover Town. It's the perfect one.
Andrew Garfield would have been perfect.
It's there. It's right there.
Oh my
god! You missed it. Oh, you ran right past.
Been their way to give him like his let's call it his Hayden Christensen second go around as the character, but it's just in a different universe.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been fucking.
You just ran right by.
Oh, he would have been incredible.
He would have been perfect. And he gets a darker story, and he has the physicality. He knows the character. He knows how to play the character. We're already all familiar with him. He's just off making British family movies right now.
Even though he's in his 40s, he still looks like he's in his early 30s. Like, he still looks young.
Like, he could definitely pull off late 20s, early 30s.
Perfect line. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
And it's just like... what else do I have here? Molten Man looks okay, but we don't have enough information on him. Electro, this guy is way too big to play Max Dillon. Yeah. This guy's enormous and like in his 40s, and like this doesn't work for me. Sandman, it's fine.
We don't know enough yet about Sandman.
We haven't seen enough.
We just saw Sandy.
And again, the version that we have in the comic books is better than this, so I'm just not convinced.
I mean, the version in Spider-Man 3 is better than this.
And then, this is Silvermane? This is Silvermane.
Yeah, Mad-Eye Mooney is Silvermane.
This is Silvio Manfredi. This Irish motherfucker is Silvio Manfredi. I just want to make super sure we're all on the same page that this guy with red hair and a punch belly and an Irish accent is Silvio Manfredi. Because I don't believe you. You could have had him be the big man. You could have had him be the ringleader of the Circus of Crime. Oh my god. Can you imagine Spider-Noir against the Circus of Crime? You want to talk about a slam dunk? I mean, the Goblin is already half circus freak anyway, but just do the whole thing. I mean, come on. Are we going to get Silver Sable in this? No, we're not going to get Silver Sable in this. Why isn't Hammerhead in this? You want to talk about guys who are perfect for this? Like, perfect. Perfect. Hammerhead is perfect. And you can't bring in Hammerhead? You can't find a way to do Hammerhead? Are you fucking crazy? But you're going to do Silvio Manfredi? And he's not going to have his suit, and he's not going to have his armor, and he's not going to have any of the equipment that he has, and it's just going to be an old guy. You have to... Then do the big man. Then do the Rose. Then do, like, any number of other guys. Don't do this. This sucks, man. I'm so fully bummed. Her name is Cat Hardy. Stop wasting my time. You take these cool things and you ruin them. Yep. And then you say, from the producers of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Project Hail Mary, 2 movies Alfred loves. And I'm like, it doesn't fucking matter, man, because her name is Cat Hardy and she doesn't have white hair and she doesn't look a shit thing like Felicia Hardy. And his name is Ben Reilly, which is fine, but then he's played by Nick Cage. And all of this is shit. It's all shit. I'm so tired of this, man. Oh, but they put the trailers back to back in black and white and color, so now you can see the difference. Oh, good, yay. What the fuck are we doing?
And I love to end shows on rants.
It's so frustrating.
My last statement on this.
Yeah.
I hate that they're dumbing it down like they did with Werewolf by Night.
Yeah.
Like, if anything worked about what this trailer was, it was that was in black and white, and it looked like it fit in black and white. Because noir works best in black and white. They have to dumb it down to make a fucking color version.
Well, not only that,
part drives me so fucking crazy.
Not only that, they don't even know how... So we've had black and white film for so fucking long.
Yeah.
For so fucking long. We've known how to shoot in black and white for so fucking long. And they don't know. And they don't know how to shoot in black and white. That was why I watched parts of the trailer a second time, was because I genuinely couldn't tell at certain points in the trailer what was supposed to be happening because they didn't color correct it ahead of time. So when you shot it in black and white, the colors came up right. All right? Look up makeup from the 1920s for films. All right? People had green lips because it was the color that popped the best and looked the most like red and black and white. You can't just shoot it 1-to-1 and expect it to look good. You have to plan for it to look in black and white, and you didn't even do that! This sucks, man.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was episode 190 of Nerdpod Generations. We really hope you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed every
minute of that last 5 minutes.
Silvio Manfredi, played by Brendan Gleeson, known Italian man, Brendan Gleeson.
So anyway, make sure to go to nerdpodgen.com and look up our past episodes of Pure Gold. Next week, we're hopefully going to be talking about Zootopia 2, but then the week after that is going to be our big Mortal Kombat 2 watch and review. So
Get
we're
over
excited
here.
about that. Al, who does our artwork and our music?
I'm so mad. I was like, oh, we're not going to talk about that because we're out of time. And then you're like, no, we'll talk about it. I'm like, fuck! Our art is by Kortney Howell. Our music is by Brendan Williams and James Connolly. I am Alfred Judson. I'm sweaty. I'm so hot.
I'm a very, very happy Steve Taylor.
I'm so hot. We're going to
will
talk
see you
after the
next
show
week.
about shooting this on camera so I don't have to go through this for nothing anymore. Have a great week, friends and
Bye,
enemies.
everyone.